Hola estudiantes, buenas noches. Today we're going to have a quick review of presente perfecto, pasado perfecto, futuro perfecto, and conditional perfecto. Just the indicative tenses. I need you to bring your copies. The copy that says how to apply some tricky tenses in Spanish. And we're going to start this week to practice the indicative tenses first. So, when to use presente perfecto? Besides knowing the structures and how to conjugate them and how to construct and build the conjugations with the auxiliary verb, which is the verbo haber, you need to know when to use it so you can have a good communication with the other person, with your listener. So, presente perfecto, pasado perfecto, futuro perfecto, and conditional perfecto, all are going to use an auxiliary verb haber. The presente perfecto, you will find it in the timeline. You will find it here, very close to the presente, okay? Very, very close to the presente. Why? Because we are expressing that action just happened or just finished. Of course, time is relative. It depends on the context that you're having this conversation and on the activity. For instance, if your abuelita wants you to have for lunch a steak, and then you ate a lot in the morning, you will answer something like this. No, gracias, abuelita. He comido mucho esta mañana. And when you have in your mind esta mañana, este mes, este año, estos años, to you it feels close, almost like a present time. So it's very close to simple present, but it's more sophisticated because it underlines the action that you just did, that to you or for you just finished or was a few moments ago finished, okay? Even though for some people could be years, no? For instance, estos años he gastado mucho dinero. These years I have spent a lot of money. So these years could apply to 2020 and 2019, or could include 2020 all the way back to 2000. See? So it depends on what you want to say. It's relative. But usually we are honestly referring to actions that we just finished and they are close to present tense or present time. No, abuelita, he comido mucho esta mañana. And you can even underline esta mañana, esta tarde, esta noche, estos años, estos meses. Like now with the pandemic, hemos estado estudiando mucho estos meses. We have been studying a lot these months. Well, these months now are 9-10 months, right? But hemos estado, so it means that it's almost like present, and maybe you're doing it recently, like this morning. So estos meses hemos estado estudiando mucho. Okay? In your copies, letter A is what I was telling you. When an action started recently and stopped recently, and it feels almost like present, and you use esta mañana, esta tarde, este mes, este año as a reference for your listener. Esta mañana he comido mucho. And the letter B, presente perfecto, is also used when an action has happened in your life. So, yo he escuchado, yo he comido. For instance, yo he comido helado de chocolate. When? Well, I don't remember exactly when. I can't remember, not this year, but maybe last year, a couple of times. I don't remember the months or the days, but I know that I have done that. So if you know that you have done something, that you have that experience, then you use Presente perfecto. Yo he esquiado en Lake Tahoe. I have that experience. When was that? I'm not sure, but it's in my past. Okay, I've done that. I have that experience. I have that experience in me. I know how it's to ski in Lake Tahoe. Okay, so the time frame is not very important. The important thing here is that you have that experience. We're speaking and underlying in the experience, not in the time. When we want to be specific with the time, then we use past, simple past, or pretérito. Yo esquié en Lake Tahoe en 1990, for instance. It's just an example. We are being very precise. But when we're not being very precise, you can use presente perfecto. Okay? So in these two contexts, when you're expressing that an action just recently happened, or when you want to express that experience is in your catalog, okay? Well, in your catalog of experiences. Note, in contrast, if something happened yesterday morning, when you say word yesterday, it calls for the past simple or preterite. But whenever you want to talk about something that has happened today or very recently, or this month or this year, you should use the present perfect. Hoy he ido al gimnasio. Okay, so you can also use the word hoy. Este año he engordado. So you are giving us a little bit more context and a longer context, okay? And more sophisticated. So if you use a simple past or preterite, it means that you have more information. It's very specific. Maybe it happened only one time in your life. It was not part of your routine. It was not repetitive. And you have all the information. Yo corrí ayer en la mañana. Yo corrí ayer en la mañana. But you can say, yo he corrido esta mañana. And it's closer to present. Or yo he corrido en Lake Merritt. I have had that experience. So I hope I'm not getting you confused. So when you use presente perfecto, it's because you want to underline that this action recently happened for you, or that you had had that experience. Okay? Next. Pasado perfecto, past perfect. In your book is pluscuamperfecto too. Página 388, 388, if you want to double check. So it is used for actions that took place before a certain time in the past. Por ejemplo, en una competición de talentos, Luisa tocó una pieza de música muy complicada con su flauta. In a talent competition, Luisa played a very complicated music piece with her flute. But before that competition, ella había practicado. So it's one step back or further in the past, in the timeline, okay? Ella había practicado mucho para presentar esta pieza perfectamente. So this is what I want you to see. We have el pasado here. So from here to here is el pasado. And then we have el pretérito aquí. And then el presente perfecto a little bit farther. Okay? Farther in the back. Do you see that? So in the timeline, I'm sorry if I am not taking good takes. But el pasado is here. This is the world of the past. We have pretérito and then past perfect, a little farther in the past. So this action happened more recently than this one. She practiced first and then she played. See? So, ella tocó música, but ella había practicado before the contest. Okay? So this is pretérito, and from this point in the preterite timeline, one step farther back, you use past perfect. Okay? So to describe an action that happened before another action in the past. So you need to mention the two actions so your listener has the good context of what you're talking about. Then we have futuro perfecto de indicativo. El futuro perfecto, remember, perfecto tenses have the auxiliary verb. It is used in Spanish to express a forthcoming action that will have concluded before another future action. So we are doing the same here, but just like instead of the past, in the future. In this sense, the future perfect is used to talk about something that hasn't happened yet. So it hasn't happened yet, not yet. But it will probably happen with no problem, okay? So it has been planned, it has been calculated, okay? And it usually happens like that. So we can say things like, in the example, habré terminado mi trabajo para diciembre. So it takes me 2 weeks to finish this bunch of copies, to review this bunch of copies. So 2 weeks, 2 more weeks, or 4 weeks. So para diciembre habré terminado. Para diciembre. So for that point in the future, para diciembre, para 2021, para 2022, para marzo 15, habré terminado. So we are referring to an action that will be completed or done by then, in the future. But we need to use habré. Habré, habrás, habrá, habremos, habrán, habréis, and then the second verb in past participle, hado, ido. Okay? And we had to study that. The other example is kind of sad, but it's also useful because when you see that your abuelita is very, very sick and the doctor has said it's the last moments, you can hear something like, and you need to fly to that place to see your abuelita, la abuela habrá muerto para cuando tú llegues. So it takes me 1 day to get there because I have to take a plane and then I have to drive, have to go to Mexico. But mi abuelita has no more time, maybe 1 hour, maybe 2 hours. So by the time I arrive there, abuelita will be dead. So la abuelita habrá muerto. It's like a prediction, but a very precise prediction. It's very possible that it will happen like that. La abuelita habrá muerto para cuando tú llegues. Cuando tú llegues. That's subjunctive de llegues, no? Because we don't know that part. We don't know when he's going to arrive. If it's going to arrive at 5 or 6, at 7, or in the morning, or in the afternoon, or at night. It depends if he finds airplane tickets and whatever, many other situations. So we don't know exactly the time. So para cuando tú llegues, la abuelita habrá muerto. Because why we know that? Because the doctor said she has only like 1 or 2 hours left. No? So in that context, you can say things like that. Future predictions that are very possible to happen. Habrá, second verb in past participle too. We also use the futuro perfecto in indicative. Indicative means that it's not subjunctive, right? You know, that is a real thing with high possibilities to happen. When there is likelihood or when it's an educated speculation on conjecture in the future. When someone guesses or thinks might be true based on his knowledge and experience, like the doctor. For example, ¿dónde está Paco? Él habrá ido a otro café. So I'm just speculating. Probably he just went to a different coffee shop. Él habrá ido a otro café. We also use it to wonder about a question that happened in the past, but that we don't know the outcome. ¿Habrá salido a tiempo el avión? ¿Habrá? So, we're speculating, in this case, we are speculating about the past. but a past that we don't know the outcome. ¿Habrá salido bien de la cirugía, Mari? ¿No? ¿Habrá encontrado tickets, Jorge? ¿Tickets de avión? ¿To come and see abuelita? ¿Habrá encontrado? So, I need you to read these papers carefully again, and then you can check your book if necessary, okay? The last tense for tonight is going to be conditional perfecto, página 414 in your book, 414. It is used to indicate an action that would have taken place in the past, condicional perfecto, but didn't. It didn't happen. What would you have done different? What you would have done differently? For example, mi padre habría llevado una maleta. Not like you, that you took 3. No? So we usually use this one to criticize or to show a different option in the past. There was another option that you didn't take. It didn't happen. So the fact is, mi padre habría llevado una maleta. Not like you, that you took 3. No como tú, que llevaste 3. So when I am using preterite, it's because it did happen and it's finished and it's in preterite. It's definitive. Tú llevaste 3. But mi padre habría llevado una. Or yo habría llevado una. So a different option. Yo habría llamado una ambulancia. If I had been you, si yo hubiera sido tú, yo habría llamado una ambulancia. Yo no habría llamado al doctor. Yo habría llamado quickly, rápidamente, a una ambulancia. But you didn't do that. You did call the doctor. But you called the doctor. But you didn't call the ambulance. So, yo llamé al doctor. Yo habría llamado a una ambulancia. ¿Sí? So in these scenarios, we use the habría, and that's a conditional. And sometimes we use it with the if sentence, but we will see that in a different video. So please study this presente perfecto, pasado perfecto, futuro perfecto, and conditional perfecto during this week. And you're going to write to me 5 sentences in presente perfecto, 5 sentences in pasado perfecto, 5 sentences in futuro perfecto, but sentences that I understand the context and everything. So you need to write more than just one simple sentence. Remember that these sentences are more complex and we need context, background. And 5 sentences with futuro perfecto and 5 sentences with conditional perfecto. Okay? So you have 5, 10, 15, 20. 20 sentences as homework. That's all your homework. Okay? And I'll see you in the next video. The next video is going to be about subjunctive. And you can text me if you get stuck with something. Adiós. Gracias.